Well, I think in the old days, the push era was when people would advertise products, and that was where they got the message out. But now, if I actually want to find out about something that's great, I would go to someone in my social network and say, who's the best provider for this? And so an example of that was I was looking for a restaurant. I happened to be in Sonoma Valley and reached out to some friends, and I could have, in the old days, the idea that I would actually be able to find that information would be quite difficult, and now, in a matter of minutes, got a couple recommendations, been able to do it. So I think the power of social network is the ability to really tap into people that you know and trust who are also experts in real time. And I think that's the fundamental difference today, and I think that's why it's such a big and powerful idea.
You ask about social media and serendipity. I actually just wrote a blog post about this where I highlighted it as maybe one of the broadest and deepest benefits of using a lot of the new technologies, where we're putting out both the things that we know, in other words, our expertise, and also we're putting our ignorance out there. We're asking questions to an audience that we don't first define. So we're not just sending emails off to a circle of friends or colleagues, and we're not trying to predefine who has access to either our ignorance or our expertise. We're just throwing it out there to watch what happens. And over again, I've been surprised and impressed in my own work about what happens when you throw random stuff out there. So I'll give you a couple examples about broadcasting my ignorance and getting good stuff back. I was doing research in California a while back and hopped into my rental car to go home, put the key in the lock, and it didn't do anything. It wouldn't turn. I couldn't unlock the steering wheel. And I knew enough to jiggle the steering wheel really hard and turn the key at the same time. That didn't work, and I started to think that the car, this particular model of car, had some kind of evil Easter egg where I had locked myself out without knowing how. So I was about to call a tow truck and get it taken away, but then I whipped out my iPhone, I fired up TweetDeck, and I just sent out a quick tweet to the world saying, I'm in this model car, keys not turning in lock, help, with about 4 exclamation points behind it. And I think I got about 16 answers back in 15 minutes, all of which were trying to be helpful. Nobody said, hey, it sucks to be you. And they all basically said the same thing, which is that there's no particular Easter egg with this model car. You just have to turn the key and jiggle the steering wheel harder than you're doing right now. So I did that. I thought it was going to break the entire car, but magically the thing's unfroze and I was able to drive it away.
I think location-based social media is a really interesting phenomenon that's emerging, both as a huge business opportunity and also a huge privacy, both concern, but also great way to connect with people and for businesses to connect with potential customers. I think where it goes is largely up to what businesses choose to do with it. And if you lose too much of the privacy of the users, then they'll leave. But if you don't, if you figure out a way to gain their trust and keep privacy at the forefront of the location-based new media, then it's going to be really interesting to see how it evolves.